Welcome. So today I'm going to give you a very quick tutorial on side crow with variations. I've been asked quite frequently to break down the technique on the variations that I'm going to give to you. So hopefully this video will help you. Okay. First of all, when we're learning to arm balance, it's really important to understand and remember that the body does work in quite a technological way. So if you are not linking the correct body parts together, then chances are you might have a little bit of struggle. Once you've figured out what goes where, then the rest of it is smooth, plain sailing. So for side crow, we'll come into a little squat. And then one elbow, you're going to twist it. And as you can see, as I twist, it hooks right over onto the knee. And now the opposite elbow, as I face towards the camera, I'm going to bring this opposite elbow right into the opposite hip crease. You can do that by landing it into the hip crease first and then placing the hands down. If you feel like that's not accessible, then you can try placing your hand down, bending into the elbow and leaning that hip crease onto it like so, okay? So first of all, you just place the hands down, lean, and see what happens. Notice the weight distribution into the wrists. From here, as I swivel, you will then notice as I lean further into my hands, my feet can start to lift off the ground, and I'm in my side crow. Okay, so that is options one for those of you that want to try that. For those of you that have been asking me for the variations, we're going to start to think about spinning the body around in space so that we can actually come away from one elbow and start to drop that elbow down onto the ground. So in order to do that, you will be needing to balance on just one elbow, not two. So whichever direction you're twisting in, if I'm twisting to my right, it will be my left elbow that's resting on my right knee on the outside. I place that right hand down, and now instead of this, oh sorry, that's the left arm, bad teacher. Instead of this right hand coming into the hip, as I previously showed, this right hand will now come right out to the side. And as you can see, when I lean, I'm no longer supported on that right elbow. From here, to gain the twist, we want to start to drop this forearm down to the ground so that our legs splay forwards. So I'll come into my side crow, and then I'm simply going to push into my hands and start to rotate my body around to the camera, and then that elbow drops down to the ground. I then push back up and re-arrive. Okay, so it's a twist and a drop, twist and a drop. Do that a few times and see how you go. I am a little bit limited to space, and I appreciate all of your hard work for bearing with the logistics. But if I just hop back a little bit, hopefully you'll be able to see the full construct a little bit in a larger scale. Options one, twist, both elbows in, regular side crow. Options two, you twist with one elbow in, opposite elbow away, lean, pivot your body in space, and drop the opposite forearm down and pop yourself back up. Last thing I want to touch upon is when you are bringing that opposite elbow down, try not to do this. Meaning, try not to just bring that elbow down without swinging the legs forwards, because you will probably end up with some wrist pain. You may end up landing funnily on your elbow or your shoulder. So just really try and think about, how does my body move in space? How can I work with gravity and the air around me? And how can I facilitate the movement of my own body to make it accessible? Okay, so if it's hurting my wrist when I come down, then that means there's too much pressure there. So how can I reduce the pressure from my wrist? Okay, I need to move my hips, and that's where that swinging forwards comes into action. So once again, I hook over, one elbow out to the side, I lean, too much pressure into my wrist, I've got to get my hips out of the way, So I push my hips forwards and then the elbow can drop down. Whew. Happy practicing, and let me know if you have any questions.